Hi there! So today I'm going to be sharing with you my everyday eyebrow routine. I like to use the Anastasia brow pomade. This is in the color Taupe. So let me show you what this looks like. This has become my new holy grail brow product. I like it better than any other pencil that I've ever used, and it actually is a lot easier and quicker for me to work with than any other pencil that I've used. So you really just need three things for this. You need the brow pomade, you need the eyebrow comb that comes with it, and I really would recommend this comb. I like that it has a spoolie on one end and it has the brow product brush on the other. I like the shape of this brush, I like the size, I like the firmness of it. It's so easy to work with. I really think it was worth the investment, so this is something that I would strongly encourage you to get if you are using this brow pomade product. And then I also like to have a clean Q-tip. So those are just the three things, and of course you need your eyebrows, but you probably already have those, or in my case you will have them after you apply this product. So let's go ahead and get started. So I have my brow pomade here and my brush, and as you can tell there's a really big difference between my eyebrows before I get them filled in. I have very thin, sparse brows, so the pomade does a really good job of filling all of this in. So I've got my left brow done here, and I'm just going to take my brush. And I do periodically have to wipe off the top of this with a tissue, just sort of the top layer. It doesn't get terribly dry, but it does get a little bit harder to work with as time goes on. When I initially started using it, it was very soft and easy to work with. So every once in a while, maybe just once a week, I'll take that top layer off just with a tissue. Nothing too complicated. Just takes a little bit of that off, and then it makes it a little bit more like new again. Okay, so I'm going to take the spoolie end of my brush, and I'm just going to brush my brows into place where I want them. So I usually brush a little bit upwards here in the inner corner and outwards, and then just outwards here at the end. I don't want to brush down at all because I want to have a little bit of a lifted look. So I'm just going to brush that up and out, and then just over. So that sort of combs them and gets them a little bit into place so I can go ahead and get started. That is really important to start with. It kind of gives you a better guide. Okay, so I always start at the interior of my brows and work my way outward, and I also always start at the top. I like to draw a line here at the top as sort of a guideline, and then I will draw a line here at the bottom and then fill in between. And I want to also point out that you really don't have to be careful about how much product you get on your brush. When I first started using this, I was really careful to just get the tiniest bit and really light strokes, but I figured out over time that, especially with my brow coloring, that's not really necessary, and the spoolie does a really good job of combing through at the end and giving it a much more natural look. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to add a decent amount of product onto the end of my brush here. So I'm just tapping that in. I'm not terribly careful about it. It doesn't get terribly clumpy either, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so I'm just going to start up here in this corner, and I'm a little bit far away from my mirror here, but let's see how it goes. Okay, so I'm just brushing up and out, kind of in the direction that I combed the hair, and I'm just creating that top line. I don't want it to be too sharp here at the corner, and so that sort of is giving me my guideline. And I usually stop about halfway, and then I'm going to do the same thing here at the bottom. And I'm just going to create that sort of interior corner there. Okay, so then you can see I've got a blank sort of space in between. I'm going to go back and fill that in. Again, you don't have to be too careful with the amount of product that you get. And I'm just going to fill that in. And then I will kind of go back if I need to and shape it up a little bit more. Sometimes I will take the brush and go in this way just to make sure I have the edge filled in, but I don't want it to be too sharp and blocky. I do want it to look a little bit more of like a natural shape. So after I pluck my eyebrows, I do try to follow the natural growth pattern of the brows, and I'm careful not to pluck too far in. So another guideline that I use is kind of going like this, and I really don't want the brow to be too far past this. I want it to be as close as possible, straight up and down. So you don't want it too far in and you don't want it too far out. So just a very natural look. Okay, so I'm adding a little bit more product. And I just, you know, like I said, when I first started using this, I was so careful not to get too much product on here, but It's really not necessary. Okay, now I'm going to go toward the middle area and just get the shape of the outer edge of the brow, and I'm going to go back and fill in a little bit more if I need it. So this is where I'm a little bit more careful, and I just want to do small, light, sweeping strokes because I do want this to get thinner as we go out. So this should be the thickest portion, and then it should very naturally get a little bit thinner as you go. So I'm just going to follow the natural growth. And then I'm just going to do little strokes out here at the edge. And then I will comb through it at the end and just blend it all together. So I'm going to go back here and fill in a little bit. And I usually, this goes pretty quickly. It's taking me a little bit longer because I'm having to explain the steps, but this is actually much, much quicker for me to use than any of the brow pencils that I've used in the past. They would take me a really long time because they were a little bit drier. Because this has a little bit more of a wet formula, it's really, really easy to work with. And I think I tend to also have to go back in and kind of fill in a little bit underneath. It can get a little bit sparse under there. So I want to make sure that the brows are somewhat similar. They're not going to be identical, but I really want it to kind of follow the same shape as this one. So we're sort of getting there, and they're not going to be an exact match, and they probably shouldn't be, but I do try to get the best that I can. So I just want to make sure that they are the same height and generally the same shape on both of them. So sometimes I have to go back and just bring that outer edge up a little bit. And see, I kind of sometimes get a little bit. This is also It does set nicely, but it does give you time to work with it. So you can also use a Q-tip if you need to clean up edges. So you don't have to worry about it traveling outside a little bit too much. You do have plenty of time to work with it to clean it up. But it does set nicely, and I don't typically use a brow gel, but you can certainly do that if you want. Okay, so now what I do at this point is now I have the shape that I want. I kind of have it filled in the way that I want. I'm going to go ahead, I give it about 10 seconds or so to set, and then I'm going to go brush through it the first time with the spoolie just to make sure I don't have any bare areas to kind of see where I'm at. One other tip that I do want to recommend is when you're applying facial moisturizer or your sunscreen or whatever you're using, be careful not to get it into your brows. That's the only problem that I've experienced with this product and really any brow pencil. If I get too much moisturizer in my brow line, the product won't stick and I have a really hard time filling in my brows. So that is one thing that I would strongly recommend, is that you try to avoid that area. Okay, so following the same pattern that I did when I combed the brows into place to start with, I'm just brushing back through them, and this really softens up the look of the pomade. Now I see that I need to go back and add a little bit more. You can see I feel like it took away a little bit too much product and doesn't give me quite the definition that I have on this side. So this is buildable, and so I'm just going to go back. And you can see I'm not careful. I did add that with a pretty heavy hand, but it's so easy to brush through. And I honestly do too just don't have brows I think that are very easy to work with and don't always look very good. And I do have just in general bad brow days. Some days I feel like I just can't get them to look right, or one day I'll have them look better than others. See, like today it feels like it's not really wanting to fill in too much in that area. And probably some of that has to do with the fact that I'm trying to do it a long way from the mirror that I'm usually doing it with and on camera. So that happens sometimes. Let me grab another tissue here. So, but I am actually pretty happy with that. So now my brows are filled in and shaped the way that I would like. So I'm going to go comb through them one more time. Then I'm going to take a clean Q-tip and just clean up the edges to make sure I don't have any kind of harsh edges or anything that's uneven in any way. So let me just comb through this one more time. And the same on the other side as well. And they are, for me, about as even as they are going to get. So now I'm just going to take my Q-tip and I'm going to go around the edges and just make sure I don't have anything that's too uneven or anything like that. I do get just the tiniest amount of product. And then I will go in here at the inner corners too and just make sure I don't have anything that I missed. But this comes off really, really easily, you can see. And that is usually all that I have to do. And so that's it. So that is it. That is my everyday eyebrow routine. I hope that you found this video helpful. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye-bye.